No problem.
There we go. She can. All right. So let's start again.
Okay, go for it.
That was a rewind animation. I'll have to get one of those put in. All right.
Okay,
So
so this week, I'll just quickly say. So right now, we're gonna take turns on each of our own channels as to who streams which. So we are going to each of us. The goal of this is to push each other to complete our own game. So that's really the goal. It's easy to get distracted and sidetracked. So we're in a potentially negative way trying to push each of us to complete the game. So the goal isn't necessarily we're not comparing games necessarily. It's just a matter of just to motivate again to go again finish the game. So Will,
yeah,
if you want to take over for this.
yeah, sure. So my audio wasn't working, so I'll go through all of the spiel again. So this is Unity Devlog Battles number 1. Each week we're going to have it's going to be split into 2 sessions. First session will be next week's session will be walk the walk first, and then the following session will be talk the talk. In the talk the talk session, we will go through our Trello boards. We will pull out what tickets we think we're able to complete in that following week, and we will be awarded points based upon those tickets. Those tickets are clearly displayed with points in our Trello boards as well, so you'll be able to see what those are. Then the following week, we'll have the walk session where we will go over those tickets that we were supposed to have completed and award each other the points based on the completion of those tickets. Then the loser for each week, not so much the loser, the winner will likely always be me because I'm from the UK, but the loser will have to do some kind of a... Maybe we'll make the loser dress up in the other country's colours for the next session, or whatever that is. We'll decide what that's going to be, or even maybe the viewers could decide what that's going to be every week as well. Well, within reason.
I thought what we would do is if it's a tie, so we will make sure that there will always be at least one loser. So if we tie, that doesn't mean there's no loser. That means there'll be at least one. And what we might do is have you guys vote on who you guys think should be the winner / loser, and then the loser will have to succumb to whatever the punishment is that we may have. Right now, we don't have. We've only got a couple of ideas as for punishment. So what we might do is have a list of say 3 to 5 different items that you guys can vote on, and maybe that's what we'll do for. Then the loser will have whatever that punishment is. So So the scoring is Actually, I'll let you go over this part, Will, because this was your...
Yeah, okay. Your so the scoring is based upon the Fibonacci scale, which is a series of points that you award per ticket. If anyone here is familiar with kind of like an agency background or the way a standard project is usually managed from a digital perspective, these are the kind of things that you put in place to, number one, have the developers initially give you some kind of estimation on how long they think a ticket's going to take. Once they give you that estimation, those estimations are based on points. So 1 point is 1 to 2 hours worth of a task. So if we have 2 tasks in there which are worth 1 point, that's generally going to take us up to 4 hours to complete those 2 tasks. So we'd be awarded 2 points for the 4 hours. And then over a week, we're able to... So from my agency background, because I run my own agency, we have all of our developer guys will have a set amount of tickets that they'll work on throughout the week, and we know that we can't give them any tickets that go over the hours that they can work because obviously they're not able to actually complete those tickets. So it gives us a clear understanding of how long each ticket should take. So shall I switch to my Trello board and we'll go through that?
Yeah, let's give an example.
Yeah, let's have a look what that means.
Do you have if you have just a little time frame, I wrote on a ticket. Maybe just throw a ticket out there that shows the actual the scoring system. So
yeah, of course.
You know what? For example, so I don't know if you have your Trello board up yet.
I do.
But I've kind of worked it to be the maximum of the hours. For example, so 1 point. If something's going to take 2 hours or less, that's 1 point scoring. If something's going to be 4 hours, between 4 and 2 hours, that's 2 points. If something's going to take I've worked out half day as 4 hours as a we've agreed on that, right? So an actual full day is 8 hours. So A full day's worth of points. So in other words, 8 hours would be 3 points. And then if it's something's going to take between 2 to 3 days, that's 5 points. And then the full week is only 8 points. And then anything bigger than that, it has to be split up, because that's
sure.
You obviously can't get more than we're doing this on a weekly schedule. So there's no half points here, at least not yet. Maybe there'll be half points if there's a tie or something to that, but we're not aiming for that. So if now,
I could go through what those
Sure.
points are anyway. So if I go into one of these tickets, let's go into one that I'm not going to be working. No, let's go into one that I am working on today. This week. So the point system goes: 1 point is 1 to 2 hours. 2 points is 4 hours or a half day. So 4 hours, crossing that over to the half day. 3 points is 6 hours, and we're classing that as a full day. 5 is 12 to 18 hours, so that's 2 to 3 days. And you can see these on the screen now, by the way. 8 is 30 hours or 1 week, and 13 is unknown. You absolutely need to split. So if either of us has a ticket that's worth 13 points, then it's up to us we have to go into it and split it down into individual tickets, so it's easier for us to point them up, because 13 is just too large a task to work on. You won't get it finished in that week. So that's kind of how we map out the hours. And you can see, if you look at alongside each of these, on my Trello board especially, I'm going to get Mike set up the same, because I know Mike hasn't actually got the timing estimations on his. But I will, Mike, I'll work with you over the next week to get those showing as well.
Well, you'll see mine. I sent you a link. I think it might be easier if you just pull up my Trello board on yours stream to show it, but when you get to it.
Yeah,
go ahead.
We'll try on stream first and see what that's like, but I've got an estimation of time on mine. I've said that here, I think that this ticket is going to take another 1 hour 30, so this will award me 1 point if I get it complete. So I suppose we can go into, let's go through my Trello board.
How many points?
First.
Yeah, go for yours, and let me, okay, go ahead.
Yeah, well...
I'm curious to see how many points you've got set aside for this week.
Well, if you can see, I'm not sure if you're actually watching the stream on this, Mike, because obviously you're on the stream.
Yeah, no, I was going to, but then I can hear the audio in that, and I just didn't want to mess things up because there's a delay. So
yeah, okay.
I'll have a look at yours in a bit.
Yeah, okay.
But I can listen.
So just so you know, everyone, these are kind of the fundamentals we're going to work on over the next couple of shows, just to make sure that Mike and I both have the ideal way to stream between us. So it's going to be trial and error, so you just have to bear with us on that. So Mike, just for your knowledge, my week is 21 hours long of what I deem I'm able to fit in development-wise.
Okay. Yeah, I'm watching it right now.
Okay, good. So 21 hours, and that gives me a total of 9 points that it's possible for me to earn in the next week, or that I'm saying is possible for me to earn. I've got to walk the walk yet, but this is what I'm saying I could potentially complete in the next week. And this is bearing in mind that obviously I've got a full-time job as well and an agency to run and 4 kids, etc. So you have to be fair with yourself to make sure that the tickets you put in, you're able to actually complete in that week, because if you get to the following week and you haven't completed them, then we have to start docking points, and nobody wants to do that.
Right. So if I can expand on that real quick. So for example, let's say if I'm looking at yours right now, so let's say the design, the start screen, right?
Yeah.
So you've got 1 point for that. Let's just say, for the sake of argument, you and I both have, let's say I set up 8 points for my week. You have 9 points set for yours. So potentially, if you complete everything and I complete everything, that gives you the win. However, if, let's say for the sake of argument, you don't finish that design screen, which means that you only have 8 points. Well, now you actually lose the difference. So you have 8 points minus the 1 point that you said you would have, which puts you actually at 7 points, which would give me the victory for that week, making you the loser. So so you actually, if you try to overcompensate and say that, I'll get 11 points in this week, but you only get 5, you're in the hole, which means essentially if the other person just got 1 point, assuming that they didn't over prioritize as well.
Exactly.
Then, yeah. So we can't just spam up a whole bunch of stuff for the week.
No.
So this is where, yeah. So I don't have a total of hours. I've done. You'll see that I've got mine a little bit different, but we can we can work back and forth. I will. What I'm going to do, I don't know if Will's got. He might not have his set up to be. He might have other things on his. So I've opened my board up to be public, so I can share that with. I'll post that, I think, in the description, or in my comment section maybe. So at least people can view what I'm doing for the week.
Sure. Do you want to try switching it to?
Yeah, let's see. Let me see if this is going to work. So, okay, so you'll have to let me know if. Oh, I did not go. How are we looking here? Do you see my Trello board?
I do see your Trello board. On the stream, it's going to be a little bit small, so let me just sort something out here. 1 second.
Okay.
It shall be really quick. Okay, and put that full screen. There. All right, so I've got yours full screen on here now as well on the actual stream. So go ahead.
Okay, is it legible? Okay. So what I've done is I've marked my point system. I've done the mentally the hours. I've done there's a couple I tried to put actually I think only this one. If I open this one up. So what I've done, instead of having normally you have your to-do columns, your I think you didn't do this either actually. But in progress and whatnot, you do have your column for what we're going to work on for the week. Instead, what I've chosen to do is I've marked these as what I'm planning on doing for our dev battle. So everything marked with the red label is what I'm planning on doing, and then the points beside it I've got for what I've valued them as. And then so this is my main goal is to creating my main character. So once this is done, what I'll do is I've set up a label for completed, which just will be, I'll remove the points. So that way you'll know that it's already done or whatnot. And then I can unmark this if it's no longer in progress.
Yep.
So my goal right now is, so this I'm saying is going to take me the better part of a day to do. Mostly, so I've decided, I don't know, you haven't really talked about what our game's going to be. So each of us do have an idea for what we're both going to do. So I'm doing a 2.5D side scroller. Now the main hurdle that I will have is that I don't know how to do anything artwork wise. So I'm going to be using this opportunity to push myself to use Blender, and I'm going to create low poly assets for everything. And I also don't really know how to animate in 3D either. So Will, you might have some issues with my scoring here, but I'm trying to account for my inexperience right now, at least at the beginning.
Sure.
So I haven't actually done the math here to add it up to make sure. I've got, well, let's see, 3, 5, and looks like I think I'm ahead. Oh no, we're tied. So I think I've got 9 points here too. So 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 9. So right. So it looks like that's actually. So I thought of adding another rule. So I want to give home field advantage, if you will. So seeing as this is right now I'm calling it home ice. What I feel like we should do potentially is whoever's streaming will show their cards first and show what they're at. That kind of gives the other person an opportunity, if they think they can squeeze one more thing in to try to tie it up or even go one up. And then whoever has home ice has the last opportunity to switch things up. And then after that, there's no more changing. You can't add, if you add some more features into the game midweek, you won't be awarded points for it.
Yeah.
So that's what we're going to try to make it honorable, or at least as honorable as someone from the UK can be. We're gonna lock it. So home ice gets to lock down their final scoring, and I'll call it visiting team. They've got their say, and that's it. They can't adapt it. So right now, this is now public, so you guys can see it. Again, it is honor system. At the end, what I'd like to do is there should be an award on top of. I mean, there's a sense of relief and accomplishment when we do complete our game.
That is the reward.
But the winner at the end, right? But at the end, I feel like there has to be reward. And as far as, I mean, off the top, I'm just spitballing. If we were to whoever the loser is has to send the winner a care package of something, like it could be meat, like bacon or
all right.
Or beer. I don't know how that works through
I
sending
thought
something like
I thought that you were going to try and make this into kind of like a Team America situation where I promise I will never die. Nobody wants to go down. Nobody wants to go down that ring. Yeah. So carry on. Go ahead.
No. So again, that's just off the top of my head. I'd like the winner to actually get something from the loser, more than just. We'll have throughout the series. It's really the loser that gets the punishment. But at the end, I feel like the winner should actually receive something, and then we can determine that. We might even put that up for a vote as well, if both of us have some options. So at this point, we both, or at least I've locked in what I'm aiming to do, and I can. I don't know if you want to go do a bit of a deeper dive on.
Yeah, I do.
Okay, you go ahead, Will, because I kind of explained generally what my game type's going to be.
Sure.
If you want to go about yours.
Yeah, and I think one thing that you should do at the on the Trello stage every week, Mike, is to create a new column, which is going to hold all of the tickets that you're going to work on within that battle. So if we look at my Trello, for instance, Devlog Battle number 1 here has all of the tickets that I'm looking to complete within this first battle. So it's just easier for the audience to see and easier for you and I to actually see between each other what we're saying we're actually going to focus on. So any ticket that is within this Devlog Battle number 1, they're the tickets that I'm going to be working on. So it's much easier to follow from there. So I'll give you a little bit of a background on the game that I'm looking to make. It's kind of a 2D, but there's also going to be some 3D elements. It's a puzzle game. It's called Hexplosions, and it's going to feature a set amount of... let's try and open this image up here, because I've actually... I haven't tried to pull one up over Mike here, but I did actually at one stage start the production of this game, so I did actually create my assets in Blender before, so I haven't added the time that it took to create these onto my battle, so it is fair. I'm not just taking all of that time. So this is actually what these assets that you see here I created in Blender. So these will be the puzzle assets for my game. You'll see a series of hexagons. They will appear on the screen, and the object is you'll have 3 separate sized hexagons on the bottom of the screen, random colours. You'll drop them in over the top of one of those hexagons if it's a matching colour on a 3 diagonal, horizontal, vertical. It will remove them from the board. And then the object of the game is to continuously play. So at the point where you've made a wrong move and you've put a wrong colour somewhere, you won't be able to put the next block anywhere on the board, so therefore game over. So the purpose of the game is to try and continuously build up your score so that you never actually die from that point. So that's kind of the game that I'm working on. As you can see, I've already created my assets. So I have got a one-up over Mike on that. But, Mike, I'll assist you with Blender and help you get started on...
Cheater!
Definitely not a cheater.
No, it's okay. No, Will did tip me off on this, and that's okay. The overall goal is to finish the game. So because this has already been started, one of the things is I think developer, whether you're into it or not, you know that there's always something going on the back burner that gets put aside for something else. So rather than start something else and leave this one behind, it made sense for Will. He did want to finish this, so it makes sense that has one less thing that he's got started that's just sitting as a side project. So I was aware of this, so we're good with that. And Will's going to be a little bit more patient because he knows that. So Blender is not one of my fortes. So I'm not going to let that stop me from trying to get my project. And in fact, that is kind of what has been preventing me is my lack of artwork ability. Will, if you're not done, go ahead. If you are, then I'll kind of talk about mine a little bit.
Yeah. So is that how you want to do it? Should we just talk about our games a little bit and then go over the tickets that we're going to complete after that? I think that might be a nice way to do it. We're not going to be talking about what our game is every week, though, I guess, because once we've explained it now, we're just going to be going into the Trello boards, aren't we, the following week? So
yeah, so I think today this is basically a primer for. We're going to let everybody know what the goal is of the game. So after that, it's just going to be individual goals. I think everybody will kind of get the idea of. We can maybe recap for anybody that may have missed the previous stream, but it'll be. I think we'll both have it kind of obvious as to where we're headed after next week. So, yeah, we can go into if we explain kind of what. I think it'll make sense that way. So you're explaining the game, and then I'll explain mine, and then we'll kind of go over the tickets, explain that part, and we'll go. So my game, I don't actually have. I don't have it. I should have had this set up, but if you guys have ever seen the actual intro to any of my YouTube videos, I've got basically a little 2D character with a guitar. And I've been wanting to kind of make that kind of game, a side-scroller game. But again, artwork is not my forte, as I'm sure you can tell by the intro. And also, I know there's a lot of free assets and stuff, but I had a hard time trying to decide for flow, because if you don't get everything that you've kind of got in your head in one asset pack, and you're trying to mix and match artwork styles, it may not flow the way you want. So Will was kind enough actually to show me a couple of Blender YouTubers, I guess, and it kind of gave me the courage to actually to attempt this. So I'm going to go with, so it's a 2D side scroller. It's going to be basically a guitarist. I've got a bit of a passion for guitar as well. So it'll be music quasi inspired. I'll have a little guitarist guy, side scrolling. He'll be kind of fighting off demons. He'll have the ability to strum, which will shoot out music notes from his guitar, as well as use the guitar as an actual, like an axe, if you will. And that's kind of a high level view of where I'm headed with that. And I just have to basically create assets, which is going to be, I think, at this point, is going to be the toughest part. So I don't know if you have, let me see if I can go back to my Trello board here. But the main thing I really want to get done, which should give me a confidence boost, is creating my main character. So the inspiration for my character is going to be essentially the character that you'll see in my intros. It's going to be, so my goal is going to be low poly. Everything will be low poly, and I want to create my main character. So this is going to be the biggest time sink for me, at least for this week. And so if I click into this, I've put a checklist here. So I'm basically going to draw out what I kind of have in my head as the character. I'll sketch that out just like a T-pose, and then I'm going to basically just try to design that within Blender. And from there, I want to rig it and set up maybe the inputs. And I'm going to try, something I haven't done is the Unity's new input method. And that's something that Will did touch on. We are keeping this, I don't want to say solely Unity, but it'll be, in terms of the gameplay or the game engine, it's solely Unity. Obviously I'm using Blender and potentially, other artwork styles to bring into our stuff. But I think I'm going to try to actually use the new input to get this going, which I haven't tried before. And I also, one of the main things I want to do is also model the guitar. I've got this, it's going to be similar to, I think, at least at this point, the guitar that I've drawn in 2D in my intro. So those are my inspirations. So for the most part, it's basically just going to be setting up my main character and the guitar. The other thing I really want to have is I've got the plot. I want to have a little bit of a backstory, but I want to have a kind of a story for, what the gameplay is going to be about. Yeah. I have to set up the goals. I do have ideas for what's going to drive the character to to get to the end. And then I just need to focus on what the actual main part of it, that'll be the fun factor, the game mechanic in terms of if we're talking Breakout, there's something about deflecting the ball up and breaking bricks. So I haven't locked down the fun factor at this point yet. So that's essentially what I'm going to have. That's going to be my week. And again, I'm just hoping to not struggle too hard with Blender, with both, again, the animating, rigging. And I think that's pretty much it for me, that I wanted to talk about.
All right. So in terms of Blender, I've already put my hand out to you and said that I can give you some assistance on that and help you kind of work through that. And just what Mike said before about the YouTubers that I passed over, one of those YouTubers is Infenzia, IMPHENZIA on YouTube. He does every week he does like a 10-minute model. He literally times himself for 10 minutes and he has to complete something in Blender. And he is what actually forced me to start using Blender as well. So that's the reason I've put that knowledge over to Mike and said, come on, Mike, you need to get started on that as well. So if you're watching the stream, then go check out Infenzia as well, because he's a really great YouTuber. He's actually I think he's just hit his 100,000 mark on YouTube as well, which is fantastic. So, and he has his kids.
Yeah, I'm sorry to interrupt. He's 100% what I've already watched quite a few of his videos, and it's definitely inspired me. I mean, he's not to say that what he's doing is easy, but the way he's done it, it's motivated me to think that at least that it's something that I can at least attempt. So, again, shout out to him for again motivating me because up until Will showed me this guy, I was conflicted between 2.5D side scroller and 2D. I wouldn't commit until I saw that. So yeah, excellent. He has an excellent series.
I'm just putting the name in the chat for Peggy. So she's got that there as well, so she can check that out too. Hopefully you can see that there now, Peggy. So yeah, he is a really good YouTuber, and he's, like I say, he's what forced me to actually go into checking Blender stuff out as well, because going from programming to software like Unity and then having to jump out of that and go into something else again can be quite scary and off-putting for any kind of developer, especially if you have no kind of 3D background or even a design background to know what you're doing in the first place. So he kind of and one thing that you're going to remember, Mike, and one thing that fits in my head all the time is E to extrude, S to scale. You'll notice that Infenzia says that probably 1 million times every video. So he's even got some T-shirts printed out now that actually say E to extrude, S to scale on it as well. Two of the main features you'll use. Yes, you'll come to hear about that. So
well, he said it's lightning fast. I mean, it's not. I don't want to undermine his ability. It's not that I think what he's doing is simple. It's just there's something about the way he's done it that, again, I'd have to run it at quarter speed or probably less to actually implement what he's doing.
You're Canadian, so of course.
Nice. Well, there is something about the language that it's similar. I think he might be drunk like you all the time. It might be that's what I was having a hard time picking up. But he does. He does speak out exactly what his keyboard shortcuts are, as well as you see them on the screen. So, again, I think I interrupted you again, Will, but go for it. And
I'm used to it. I'm used to it now. I've been on a chat with
we
you
both do. So
that
is something. Yeah, that is something that we both. For the record, we both have wives, kids, and whatnot at jobs. So these are on top of our otherwise life duties here. So that's why some of you might think that week to week that this isn't may not be that many hours to focus on, but we both of us do have our plates full on top of this. So
yeah, no,
just in case you're wondering about that.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, this is the reason why our games don't get finished in the first place, right? Because life takes over, life takes control. You then put things on the back burner. But what we're trying to do here is to spur each other on to actually have a 0 day. Every day's a 0 day. You know, is not a 0 day. We make sure that we do something, accomplish something towards our game on a daily basis, and that's really what we're trying to do here. We're trying to force each other's hand to actually produce what we said we're going to produce, not only for the battle, but for us to actually have games released on the relevant stores as well, because that's the big thing. I mean, we can post tutorials, we can on my weekly review streams, I can review and critique other people's games, but until I've actually got my own games up on the store, there's nothing there that actually says that, you know, this guy knows what he's talking about. He's actually able to say some things that are wrong about my game, and I'm going to listen to him. You know, whereas I've got no substance behind me to say that you should listen to me. You know, so
well, that's what I've been saying all the time, right? What the hell's Will talking about?
Yeah, what's he
we can still say that, though. I mean, just because you have a game out doesn't mean that we can't say that you don't know what you're talking about.
Well, yeah, I'm sure you'll say that plenty of times as well. Yes. So that's pretty much where we're at. So if you're saying that they're the tickets you're going to work on yours, in terms of what I'm going to be working on, I've already got the majority of my assets. There are a couple of assets left that I have to do. There's a fourth power up, a challenge bar, and a selection marker, so you know what element of the grid you're actually on. I want to design a start screen, and I want to implement the current selection mark. So whichever part of the grid you're actually on right now needs to be highlighted, animated, maybe some particle effects or something of that effect, just so you know where you are on the board. And then I want to implement the start screen. And then I want to work on the core logic of my game, which is the algorithms that are going to determine when there is a match, when there's a 3 match, either that's vertical, horizontal, diagonal, whatever that is. So that's going to be the bulk of my week, I think. So I've given that a 12 to 18 hours of sitting down and working out a grid system, working out the algorithm of depicting whether that's going to be a win line or not. So that's going to be the bulk of my week, just getting the fundamentals of the game and the actual looks of the game in there. So I think based on that, you're doing your character. Your main week, Mike, consists of your actual getting the character rigged and working within the game. And likewise, mine is just getting my objects into the scene and getting the actual logic, the algorithm working for a win line, etc. So I think we're on the same kind of level peg in there, aren't we?
Yeah. The one thing I wanted to say too is given that we haven't really set an overall. I'm going to guess, to be seeing as you've kind of got a bit of a head start with your game, that there's a good chance that you'll potentially be completed before mine. So I think what that might be whichever game is finished first isn't necessarily the race. So at that point, we can potentially crown whoever has the most points up to that point as the victor. And then if you have another, if let's say it's you that's finished first and you had another game to start, at that point we would just carry on with wherever I'm at with mine, and we could hit up another one if that works out, if this goes as planned.
Yeah, we also spoke about helping the other one out, maybe if
oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, you know, if we get to the point where I'm finished I'll probably be finished mine first. If I'm finished mine first and Mike is like kind of slowly kind of chugging along trying to get over the wall that Trump built, it's very, very likely that I'll have to jump down off the wall and just hold his hand for a little bit and give him a hand finishing his game. So that's fine. But
I do. I might not. I mean, I do want my game still to be good, so I may not take on. No, we have agreed. We have agreed that if either way during the week, if somebody needs a hand, we're obviously, again, this is it's not to the death. Yeah. So we do, again. It's the end game is to motivate each other and to help each other complete our game. So we are both at each other's.
Beck and call.
Disposed. So yeah. So
all right. So I guess we know what our weekly tasks are going to be.
Now we got to figure out so how do you want to go about our the punishment?
So are we going to decide the punishment this week for next week then?
So that's what I think we'll do. Maybe we don't do it. I mean, at this point, I don't really have that many options. So assuming going forward, this is something we can come up with a series of penalties. We could put it to, Twitter or the comment section here. In fact, you know what? If you guys have ideas, throw them in the comment section. And maybe we can, if there's enough, if enough people voting for the same thing, then maybe we can just set that aside. But we should have something in place, or maybe we can just announce it next week. So the loser we'll announce that. I guess won't be at the beginning. But we'll have to go through. So that'll be the first thing we do is we go over what we have done. And then the last part of next week will be where we're headed for the following week.
Yeah.
And we'll be leapfrogging between channels with our stream. So this week obviously as well. Next week will be mine, and the week after we'll do it that way. At least that's our target for now. In case if something else comes up, we can change that up. But that's where we're proceeding with right now. So I don't know. Do you have any ideas for the punishment? So right now we're square for if we both complete everything that we need to. We're both set to tie, which means tie will go to the voters.
Yeah. So at that point, it will go to the voters, and you'll be having it on your stream. So you'll be having the one up there.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, but I mean, they've watched enough of you. They probably want more of me, right? So
there's a good chance of that.
So I had one idea in that I do have a piece of software for what we use to actually do the stream with the Streamlabs OBS that allows your voice changer, so you can change your voice on the stream.
All right.
So I'm thinking that whoever the loser is next week should very much have some kind of maybe a chipmunk voice for the entirety of their part of the stream.
Yeah, I like that. That's a good one. We can start this off relatively tame. So
but is that fair though? Because you're Canadian, you already have a weird voice.
Listen, if people can understand what you're saying, then they're already used to.
Yeah. So so I get told that I sound Scouse a lot. I'm not Scouse, but there you go. All right. So are we agreed that the
yeah? So we can. Well, the winner will pick the loser's voice.
Yeah.
Whichever, I don't know how many options you have. We can do. I suppose it doesn't matter. The chipmunk voice would probably suffice. But whatever, I don't know what options you've got in there, but the winner will decide which one. Or in fact, if there's maybe that should go up to if you give the options for our viewers, then they can decide which voice the loser gets.
Yeah, that could be a good thing to do. So we'll decide that whoever loses is going to be having their voice changed for the entirety of the next stream, and then the viewers can choose what that voice is going to be. Yeah, so what we could possibly do is put a poll up on our respective channels with the list of those voices, and they can be voted on throughout the week as well.
Yeah.
Okay, let's look at doing that. So I think we know. Do you just want to show a quick overview of exactly what tickets you're going to be working on this week, so that the viewers and
it's all the red ticket right now. I've highlighted them with the red this red label. Let me switch that over here.
Yeah.
Okay, so again, this is going to be. I'll let you post it in the description, Will. You've got the link to this, so that way viewers can grab this whenever they want just to have a look. But anything with this red label that says Dev Battle, that's what my tickets are going to be. So then you can see the points for whatever reason this one goes to the right. But anyways, the points are beside. The scoring is beside which I'm working on. I don't have because the way I've organized it here, I don't have a way to show exactly what I'm working on at the moment. But I typically bounce between tickets anyway. So I'll work towards one thing and then I'll move on to something else. So so you should be able to see anything with this red ticket. That's what I'm working on for the week. And once I'm done these, if just again, let's say I wasn't able to rig the character, then that would still remain as dead battle, and then these I would just turn these off with that, and it'd be done. But so these are the ones that I'm working on now, and I'll post that. We'll have that on Will's channel.
Yep.
So that you guys can access that, and I think that's everything. You can hear my boys in the background. Maybe that's.
So I'll switch to mine so you can see what mine is as well. So all of these within Devlog Battle number 1. All of these tickets are what I'm going to look to have completed in the next week beforehand. So same amount of points as Mike. So we're level peg there. So yeah, I think let's get to it. See where we get to next week. Where one of the sessions will also be Walk the Walk, which is going to be the all important one that decides whether we've done what we said we can do.
Right.
So
okay, so next week, bring your hockey sticks, bring your beer, and welcome to Canada.
Likewise, welcome to the UK for your viewers especially. So let's call it a day there then, and let's get to it. I've already done half of my tickets behind the scenes, so. That's a joke. I haven't started any of them. All right.
While we've been streaming, you've been already diligently working.
I've finished the game. It's done.
Nice.
All right.
Well, that's okay. That means I only lose once then.
Let's jump off and let's get ready for next week's Walk the Walk, and we'll see where we get to.
Okay. I'll see you guys next week.
Bye. Love you all.
Bye.